Hello and welcome to Budget Model Railways. In the UK today it's the 11th of November, which we know as Armistice Day, which is when originally we commemorated our fallen from the First World War, but is now used to remember and commemorate our fallen from all our wars, especially recently. And it occurred to me that a great many people, certainly in our country and certainly in the two world wars, perhaps the last part of their village or town that they would have seen would have been their local railway station, because the vast majority of soldiers were transported, certainly up to the end of the Second World War, by rail. In fact, Folkestone had a huge station where the vast majority of the people who went out to the First World War would almost certainly have been their last sight of the UK. So the railways played quite a large part. I also think of my own father, who just did his national service, but almost certainly came and went from the little Winchelsea station where he lived. And so I wanted today to just do a quick little video, just as a thank you and a commemoration of the fallen. And I would say me and Douglas, we were just getting all our uniforms polished. Doug's in the Scout Band and I'm a major in the Army Cadet Force, so we're polishing belts and Doug's polishing his trumpet. And it reminded me that I thought about doing this video for Remembrance Day. I think it's worth pointing out that we should talk about the men and the women. It's often forgotten how many service women fell for their countries. All the aircraft, for instance, in the Second World War, the vast majority of them were transported by female pilots, the ATS, a great many of whom perished in accidents and so on. And I know of one war memorial in Surrey where there is a surgeon, a female surgeon remembered. So it's the boys and the girls, the men and the women that have fallen, and of all the countries. Sadly, soldiers are always asked to pick up the pieces when the politicians have let them down. Most wars are avoidable, and it's the PBI, the poor bloody infantry usually, and the airmen who have to pick up the pieces. So this is not political in any way. Indeed, we've probably got more in common with some of our old enemies. I remember watching a programme once between some Falklands veterans from both sides who realised they'd got more in common, having suffered on the frozen hills, than the silly politicians that had sent them there. So this is just a little message on Armistice Day, getting ready for Remembrance Sunday, to remember our fallen from all countries and all conflicts, and a little nod from those of us from the railway world to play our little part on this important day. So I do hope you can like this video. I realise it's not a model railway one, but I'm sure most people will join us in the thought behind it. And thank you so much for watching.